properties and a little bit better gas than property is.
Gotcha. Okay. So I don't want to waste time if I'm not going to be a fit either. Sounds like people have been calling in but not giving a good number. And that's where when I buy cash, I'm typically looking for some type of deal, so I fix and flip it, so I make some type of profit. There's only one way that I'm able to actually pay like these prices, like closer to market price as an investor, is to buy it on terms. Do you know if the homeowners would be open to selling it on seller finance?
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten some offers like that, and they haven't really, they haven't really considered those, but it would depend upon how much you were willing to put down as a deposit.
Got you. And see, I don't mind working that as long as they're open to it, right? Like I understand me as an investor, if I'm going to buy cash, especially right now, I'm going to need a discount. It might not work. That's totally fine with me. And obviously it's fine with them. It's been on market or at least right here, I see 125 days. So I know they're not in a rush. So I know it's more about the price. I can give them the price they're looking for. I just need some type of term that gives me an opportunity to make money every month, like just on the cash flow. Whatever I pay them monthly is just less than what I can rent it out for. So if they're open to something like that, I can pay the higher price. For the money down part, do you know if they need a lot of money to do another project right away? Is like a lot of money something they need immediately, or is it, just because it's typical for when you buy a home to put like 20% down? Do you know?
No, they just would want you to have something invested in the property.
Gotcha.
In the form of a deposit. So if you were interested and wanted to include those, terms that you would be comfortable with as far as the down payment in your offer, we will definitely present that.
Do you know by chance anything that they might want down? And here's why, right? Because I buy properties like this all the time, even with agents. And typically I find out if they need a lot of money down, that typically, that's necessary. But if it's not, there are some benefits for them when they sell this way, so maybe because they're not in a rush, right? So they're probably also not in a rush to pay any type of taxes or gains on it. So like the benefit for them as well is not only are they saving money from taxes, but this is basically like an investment to them, right? They receive income on it as well. And the way it works is putting down a large amount of money. The only thing is that I have to cash flow, right? So if I put, 50 or 100 grand down or whatever, and I only get to make $300 profit, $400 profit a month, that right there doesn't make sense for my model. And that's when it's kind of hard to figure it all out when I'm, obviously I'm speaking with you, the agent, and the homeowner. It's hard to, I guess, get some of the firm answers that I would need to put a deal together, because since the homeowner is not on the call with us. Do you know more or less if they would be open to less money down and maybe a deal with good terms to them, where it's a good investment to them, they make money on top of their money, things like that? Would you know?
Yeah, I would just say whatever you're comfortable with. I would say submit that and I'll present it.
Okay.
We can go from there. If it's something they're not comfortable with, then we will definitely counter, or they will say no.
Because I'll draft it as long as they're open to countering. Because here's where I'm at. Me being an investor, if I had the opportunity to present the terms like how you're saying, Carlos, present the terms, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna put, maybe the longest term possible and the least amount of money down, so then I can make sense out of it, since we are buying in a downshifting market. And that's because it also makes sense for my model. But in a scenario where it's like, hey, they might need, maybe they don't need, 20%, but maybe they say, Carlos, I need like 30 grand to do this and that. Then that makes a little bit more sense, because then I can underwrite it with, okay, maybe they do need 30. So I have to see what money I can make. Otherwise, I don't mind drafting and writing a proposal, but just to be upfront with you, I'm gonna, offer like 5-10 grand and then go over what I can do per month, just so I can analyze it. But I am open to buying. I am an investor that can pay more than most cash investors. Don't want to waste time, but I do want to buy something. And so that's something I can do. I don't mind drafting you over something, as long as we can try to figure something out, because maybe I can help you guys out and give them the price. It looks like nobody else is, as long as I could sweeten it up for both parties.
Right. Yeah. It definitely has to just make sense for them So yeah, I would invite you and encourage you to submit, and we'll go from there.
Okay, do you know if this is is this currently rental or are they living there?
No, they're unoccupied properties.
Oh, okay. And so were they rentals at one point?
The Texas Agent property was a rental.
Okay. And do you know if what income was coming in when there was a renter by chance? Would you know that information?
I don't, and honestly, that wouldn't even be applicable to your situation because both properties need a significant amount of work. And so when you renovate, you'll be able to get more rent than they could.
Got you. Got you. And then online, the photos that are there, is there any additional photos that I'm able to see or receive if I was able to email you?
Yeah, everything that I have is on online.
So what do you think a fair number is? Like if the house needs, some work, what do you think is a cash number that makes sense to them, knowing that it needs work and it hasn't sold? What do you, since you work in that market, what do you think is a fair number?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to answer that question. I mean, it's listed for the amount that they are wanting to get for the property. So,
and there's nothing that that they would take off the top of their head, like, hey, this is the number, Carlos, that they've told me this will work with them.
now I would just say submit, I'll present, and they will counter if you're interested.
Sure. Okay. And what's the best email I can get from you?
Sure, it's Graves, which is GRA, is in Victor, ES is in Sam, Realty, REALTY group, and then INC or incorporated at gmail.com. So Graves Realty Group at Gmail.
Perfect. Graves S Realty Group Inc. at Gmail.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Hey, Shauna, I appreciate your time so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye. Yo.
Let's go.
I thought she was the
Okay.
homeowner for a second. I thought you said she was a homeowner agent or something.
Oh, broker owner. She's the broker. When I looked her up, it said broker office of record on there. So yeah, you did great with that call. And see here
I thought she was the homeowner. If at first off the top, I was a little lost. If I would have known, I would have asked this question. I would have made sure she was compatible with me working. Hey, you know what? I'm an investor. I'm going to be giving these are my numbers, reality. This is how I work. Because I kept feeling like, you see how there was a wall when she wasn't giving me the answers when I was asking the questions. And so right there, when I did that, when I started to realize she's the agent afterwards, I'm like, oh, I should have let her know up front, like how I tell you guys when you talk to agents, like, hey, this is how we talk to agents, so they know. I started to feel like, fuck, I should have asked that question up front, because then I wouldn't have this war about to go on with her. She's like, nah, I don't want to do that. And you see how I'm still calm, trying to overcome it. I'm just trying to get answers.
You did good. I felt
I know.
You switched that around quick because you realized you understood the way she started talking to you, and she didn't catch an attitude. Some of those agents catch an attitude like, oh, what number? I'm not going to jeopardize my license and, give you a number or whatever. But no, hey, let's go. I'm excited. That was a good call. I think that was great.
I mean, you'd think that agent would be some type of hungry. That shit's been fucking listed for 125 days, and she didn't even want to give me a little, hey, they'll take 10 grand off for 20.
Man,
she didn't want to do any of that. How hungry can she be?
First of all, and this goes to show you for everybody listening on the call, like when you're going through these leads, you have to keep following up. I literally was like, I looked, I said, wait a minute, hold on, I forgot to follow up on this one. And I did not. I will tell you, I didn't put this one in my CRM, but I have it like on a post-it note in another screen. But that was weeks ago, and the property's still listed. So she didn't even sound super motivated. That's what the crazy thing is.
Hey, Carlos, do you think that she would have reacted differently if you would have asked her to represent you as the buyer?
You know what? I don't know. And I didn't have confidence to say, represent me as a buyer on it. I guess I'd like to know some stuff. I guess I could tell her that. Maybe, who knows, man? You know what? It slipped my mind, brother. That one honestly slipped my mind. I couldn't.
Yeah, because it sounds like she was like really like defending, standing up for and defending the buyer.
I mean, even if she wasn't doing her job like complete justice. She wants me to draft an offer when she already understood verbally what I wanted her to do. So she didn't have to say that. She could automatically submitted what I verbally said with her. That's one thing. On top of it, it's like why I asked her to represent me if she wasn't going to budge off that number. So you could represent me, but I'm not going to hit your 300. Well, then just submit the offer. It wouldn't have mattered, I think.
Right.
She would have knew what's up too. If I called her and the number was working, she probably would have knew off the bat she was representing me.
Yeah, you couldn't
She
tell.
she kind of had that vibe, it's kind of like the vibe I get when I talk to some agents that have a personal relationship with their client.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That's what you couldn't feel her out completely, right? She was kind of like, she was right there on the fence, I felt like. She could go either way.
Exactly. That's what I felt.
Yeah, she was chill. That was the power of tonality. Did you guys hear how soft my voice was or whatever? I was real chill, real calm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I thought you were pretty calm with it. And I'll tell you, with this one, guys, I did everything off a cold text, a completely cold text. I literally just looked the properties up, sent some text out to some realtors, and I just asked them if the property was available. And then I hit them with terms, literally in the next text. And she replied like, "Oh, we'll be open to terms." I said something like, I noticed the property's been listed for a while. I'm hoping your seller will be motivated. I purchase properties in creative ways, such as terms. Is this something that your client would be interested in? And she happened to reply off that. So try different things, but you never know. So yeah.
Yeah, that was not bad at all. Not bad.
Not bad.
Okay, so let's get on to this next one. Jen, I could still submit an offer. So just I put it down right here. So I don't mind still submitting an offer. I'm just gonna make it, nice for me, and I'm gonna write, "Hey, please, if you're interested in at least counter," so I can see. Because I am gonna go in there. I'm gonna give them, a little bit lower offer and like no money down, and basically see what we can do from there, and just go. We'll write it out. I don't know anything. I don't even know if there's a debt in place. She wasn't really like a top producing agent. She didn't know her stuff, or just avoided telling me. And it's like, why do you want to avoid the person that's going to pay you? Because the seller is going to pay you, yeah, but once somebody else buys it, right? That's how you're going to get paid, if somebody else buys it, or if it's creative financing, we buy it. All right, Rigo. So this first one, right? Jorge. Let's see, what's this? Let me read this real quick. No, I can sell you my owner occupied, yada yada. Cash. Let me look up. I see you have a few homes, which is awesome. So I know you can keep the prices, but that's tough to do. Yada yada. Catch me up to speed. What's up with Jorge? Does he want to sell his house?
Jorge, he wants he might be interested in terms. I haven't had a chance to explain it to him, but he's like, "Oh, I want this much because it's cash flowing." The other one that was a little more interested, but he was still kind of, like one of those red sellers. He feels like he invested a lot into his property, but the next one, but he's willing to hear terms. So both of them, good to take a shot at. So
Yeah, I'll take a shot at both of them. So we'll call this Jorge guy. Let's see what's up. And Jorge wanted what?
he wants
560 for his house?
Nah, he wanted let's see, 650.
Oh, 650 for his house?
Yeah, he was trying to say the other one's a lot. It has a smaller lot, and it's only it has one less car garage, so his is worth 100K more, almost,
For a garage? All right.
for his
Love
house.
it.
Yeah.
I love it. Can't complain. All right. Let's see. Let's call this guy Jorge. Wow, Jorge, you didn't even give me a chance. You can call him back.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice message.
No, Jorge, no. Call him one more time.
Your call has been forwarded.
All right, we'll get back to you, Jorge. We'll put him on the loop. It's like he answered for a quick second. All right, so who's this next one? It is, okay. So Daniel's the guy that's open to hearing terms.
Yeah, he wanted him explained. He didn't want to take a call, but once I told him like, hey, maybe we could get to your asking price, right? Obviously that's he doesn't know about this, so he is like, hey, I gotta choose my my escrow and whatnot. So yeah, he's open here.
Sweet, man. And this is Lake Elsinore. Nice, bro. How far are you from Lake Elsinore, man?
Like 15 minutes.
Ah, sweet, bro. I'm like 2 hours from there. Okay, cool. Let me call Daniel up real quick. Are you guys able to hear the ringing and everything?
Yeah, your microphone's pretty good.
All right, cool. I bought one of those little microphones you can attach to it. It's like 30 bucks. Oh, you guys can buy, I'm pretty sure Cyber Monday, there's probably microphones for like 15, 20 bucks.
I'll be right back, y'all.
I'm gonna go check. All right, let me call Daniel. Here we go.
Please leave your message for 9512.
All right. Let's see, did I call that guy twice or once? I was only once, let me call him again.
Please leave your message for
All right, that one didn't answer. Okay, who's next? All right, so Jorge didn't answer at all, neither did Daniel, but we'll get back to those. For sure, we'll get Daniel. If Jorge answers the phone, we got a chance still. But Daniel, if he just wants to hear an explanation, that's easy. So we'll go ahead and do that. Was there one more person or was that it?
That's it. I can send it another over if you guys don't have.
Cool. All right, let me start calling. Hold on.
Hello, can I help you?
Hey, what's up, Henry? This is Carlos. How you doing, man?
All right, can I help you, Carlos?
Yeah, I believe you are either, I think it's Maisie. We're speaking with my associate Christina about this property that you both own off of Brayton Road. She was texting you.
Yes,
Yeah, do you recall that?
yes.
Okay, cool. That's why I'm following up. She had updated me saying that you'd be open to selling your house, and she sent me like a list of, pricings that you're open to selling it at first and have dropped it down to. And I believe the number you're looking for is like 559 or something, right?
Yes, the lowest she'll go. She don't accept, she's taken off the market.
Got you, got you. So I don't want to waste time. I just want to be upfront with you. I buy a couple ways. When I buy cash, you know, I typically look for a home that I can use as a project, right? Put some money into and make a profit on. So this might not work for me cash. Do you know if you would be open to selling it to me for this price, but on terms?
What kind of terms?
It's very simple, just like how you buy a house or a car, you know, just, hey, I can give you the price you're looking for if you just give me some time. So the way that I make money this way, since as an investor, typically I'm going to fix and flip if I'm going to do cash, or I would buy and rent it out, but the interest rate kills it right now. If you try to buy that market and then try to rent it out, there's no way for me to make money. So the way this works is I can give you the higher purchase price as long as you give me some time to pay it off, meaning there could be some money down at their close, and then I can make you payments over a set period of time. Doesn't need to be like, you know, a whole mortgage, just needs to be some time to allow me to make money on it. And then it's pretty simple like that. I'm not sure if you're open to that. That's the way that I can.
No, we probably want to be clear and free from it when we cut a deal on it. That way, no mix-ups and misunderstandings.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know if it'll work for me. You said if you weren't going to sell it, you're going to take it off the market.
Yeah.
What were you going to do? Just rent it out?
BRB on it.
Got you. So I do that stuff too. Is that something you would rather do? Like, let's say you couldn't get the cash number. Would you have just rather just rented it out and make money that way?
That's what we do to it, sir.
Oh,
We're doing
okay.
that now.
Got you. I mean, here's one thing to look at. If you did sell it to me, I mean, that might benefit you making more money cash flowing, because that's what I do as well. But here's one thing to look at. The prices are going down and they're not going to rise for a bit. So if I happen to buy, or we happen to come to an agreement with you, you will be locked in with the highest purchase price over the next few years. So you will get that. And maybe we can come to an agreement on some interest so you can make some money on top of it, which, you know, you're in this game. So this could be like a true investment as well. I'm not sure if you're open to that.
No, we're going to leave it like it is and leave it on the market. If we don't sell it, go back to what we were doing with it. But thank you.
Absolutely. Do you have any properties that, you know, might fit my business models?
No, I have all kind of people looking for investment properties right now.
Yeah, I get you. Okay, man. Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Bye. There goes that one. Put that down. What could I have done better, guys? Did I miss something in there?
Nah, it sounded like he was pretty firm on what they wanted.
Yep, he was very like cut and
I even
chase
tried to
with
say,
it.
hey, man, you fucking think about this real quick. If you lock it up with me today, you're going to be locked in with that purchase price. You're not going to see that for the next, you know, cycle or whatever. That's a good overcoming objection. If it would have worked, it would have been better. But that right there is important for you guys to use right there. The market is going down. Hey, just want to let you know, you can cash flow. That actually makes sense. I mean, you know it. You're an investor. I'm an investor. But hey, look at it this way. You lock it up right now with me at 559. You're gonna be selling at the highest price. And if you were to sell it in a year or 2 or 3 years, you'll never get that price again. Boom. Right. But in the end, it didn't fit his need. He's like, this is what I do, son. I do Airbnbs, and you know, he's on his game. He knows what's up. In the end, I wasn't there to help him out. He doesn't need help. It's just however he wants to sell it.
It was a good way for you to leave him too, also, because if he all of a sudden changes his mind, he'll remember back that you weren't being pushy.
Yeah. It's hard to be pushy when you know all the methods. That's the thing. Like, once you know all the strategies, how the hell can you be pushy? You just fucking move to the next one. Cool.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna sit here and either battle you for no reason. I didn't even go into cash when I saw the message come in. They dropped their price 3 times. I'm like, all right, well, they're fucking obviously stuck on a high price. So I'm not gonna go battle them. I understand that already. So that's why I kind of rolled quickly. I see you want that. Then I obviously knew that for me, it wasn't gonna work. So I was gonna have to disrespect them and give them a crucial cash offer, which I wasn't gonna roll into. I just might as well just, hey, look, that ain't gonna work at all because I need a project like for me to buy cash. And another reason, like, if I was able to buy the property at 559 and then get like a 2% interest rate at the bank, great, I can cash flow. You can't cash flow when you're getting 7 or 8% on 600 grand and your payment's like 4 G's and you have to rent it out and like rent's like 3,800 negative, you know?
Yeah.
That's why. So I threw it out there too. Like, I could buy, you know, I wish I could have bought it cash because I could buy and hold and then make money. But with interest rates that are so high, it actually kills the cash flow. And so even for a buy and holder to buy a turnkey property, we still need a discount because there's still going to be a high interest rate. So you still need a nice discount. So then it offsets the rental income that's coming in. And so it's hard even buying cash. We just need a discount. And you got to be bold going to buy a house cash at market price and then have to pay market rent and still try to rent it out at market price. I don't even know if you're making it doing it that way.
That's
You guys
what
start to learn that. You guys will start to learn more as you become end buyers, or you'll start to see all that stuff play out.
that to me is what made that whole deal kind of unrealistic though, because he was kind of explaining like we were back 3 months ago or something, like 3 months prior, to where like the market value, even if you were to buy it at his price though, how in the world would you be able to cash flow from it if the value would be potentially going down events in the next like couple months forward, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let's see.
The numbers wouldn't add up even for a cash buyer.
I really didn't see any motivation with him too as well.
I like talking to guys like that. I bought in a few deals from investors and construction workers. Very simple like that. Up forward, boom, boom, boom. I like it. I like working with agents who own the houses or other investors because there's no fluff. It's like, boom, hey, back and forth, back real quick. Like, hey, well, this, well, then this, well, then this. Like, it's easier for us to strategize because they kind of know what's up to. But I don't know. I guess I strive in the area where there's a problem to be solved or something. I like it.
Carlos, have you bought a house with the delusional seller before?
No, but I've had yeah. I've had my first house that I bought was fucking like a huge headache, bro. So it was like this redneck from like the Southeast, and he's just like super redneck. It's so funny. Just hearing him say, "Hey, Carlos, how you doing?" And it's just like he's super redneck, and he's a
Wow.
yeah, he's like, like one of those illiterate types, right? He's gotten on my nerves recently, like a lot. Almost went to court and everything with him. Like got an argument with his wife over some stupidity, like a lot of things. I had a sheriff called me because he was vandalizing the house I was buying from him and then wrapping it. It was just a headache. So like he must be delusional, but this is what happened. Buy this house from this guy who's in pre-foreclosure. He just bought his house the year before, had a high ass interest rate, like 9% before the recession even got here. So he already had a high ass interest rate. His payment was like $1,000 on this little home. And I'm like, bro, there's like 900 people in this market. And I'm like, I'll buy it sub 2 and like pay your arrears is like $9,000 and just buy it sub 2. He goes, yeah. So I explain it how it works. It's like, hey, I gotta put my name on the deed and all this, yada yada. I had to explain it super like crystal clear to this guy because top of it, he was like a little slow, but I just had to re-explain it. And then he was open to it and then said, oh, well, like for me to keep my name on it, I need some more money. And I was only giving him like 1,000 or 2. So I ended up coming up to $9,000. That's what he needed. So we did that, bought the house, whatever, and then started working on it, getting ready to wrap it. So we're getting ready to sell it. And we started getting people to come in and buy it. And the seller was like, hey, I'm going to leave my truck there. I'll pick it up like tomorrow. Like fucking like 2 weeks go by and he had left a whole bunch of trash, which then brought a lot of bugs to the home and the property around it because the truck stayed in the driveway of the home that I'm about to sell. And then we ended up selling on a wrap or a lease option. We put it on a lease option to help a homeowner. So like we were going to make money on this one person was going to help, or this one person was going to buy it from us, put like $90,000 down. And we bought it for like $90,000. So we were selling it for like 140. So we were going to get the majority of the money paid off and hold money. But then we talked to another seller that needed a little bit of help. She was like a single mother going through some stuff. And so we actually ended up putting her in there. Her and her like disabled husband was like a veteran. We put them in there on a lease option to buy in 6 months to help them out. So it's really cool to be able to help other homeowners out, especially when you're doing wraps. You typically are helping out homeowners who've made mistakes. So we put this wrap buyer in there. And then after a while, they're like, yo, there's just a lot of bugs. Can you get this car gone? Like, you know what? You do what you need to do. Oh, we're going to tow it. So I tell the homeowner that we're going to tow it. He's upset. He's like, you told me, you would let me keep it there. And I said, man, it's been a while. And so he ends up giving me a company to call, like a tow company. It's like his cousin. Well, anyways, we call the new homeowners get it towed. Nobody knows where the hell this thing's at. And I start getting blamed. Sheriffs call me. Then I'm about to go to civil court for like $8,500 or something. And he starts bugging me, calling me and threatening me to the point where I'm like, hey, listen, I'm the one that helped you out, man. Like in reality, man, you don't come over here acting bold anymore, calling me at 5 a.m. because it's 8 over there. And you can just come out here because you're upset because you don't know how to be responsible for your own things. You weren't responsible for your bills. And I've been there, my man, but you weren't responsible for your bills. You weren't responsible for your car. And you're going to come at me because you're irresponsible. Don't disrespect me when I'm the one that helped you out. I laid it on him like that. And then he was just like, and I never cussed at him or nothing. I just told him, you're calling me being very rude and disrespectful. And I really helped you out. I'm on your side, buddy. And he came at me like real sneaky after he had the sheriffs calling me. And honestly, like, I was like, okay, this guy, he's going to be like that. And then his wife calls me and starts being rude. And then I just told him like, dude, honestly, you've been such a headache. I'd rather not bought the house from you. I'd rather not help you out, not caught your rears up. I wish I didn't do any of that because you're now being really lousy with me after I'm the one that paid you and helped you out. Like the reality is I have a decision to make and I can walk away from this and then it tanked your credit, but I'm not going to do that. I don't even want to speak with you anymore. So I'm just going to make the payments. I'd rather not talk to you anymore. That was it. It was like to the point where his wife came at me, like threatening me, like, oh, okay, you're going to say something. I forgot what she said to me. I had something to her that might have pissed her off. And I said, you're going to try to sue me because you think that's a threat. I'm like, I'm going to screenshot what your husband wrote to me. Hey, Carlos, if you don't give me $5,500 now, I'm taking you to court for $8,500 for this truck. And I'm like, that sounds more of a threat, doesn't it? Like, hey, if I don't do something, then you're going to do something, you're implying something. Doesn't that sound like a threat? And then she apologized to me and was like, now I'm trying to help me out with some stuff in the house. The roof collapsed. I'm like, Jesus, what else is going on? So I've kind of had like this delusional seller, not remember things, then tell me like they don't know what's going on. That was the biggest headache I've been in so far, and it's been there, and it's been our first deal. Still a headache. What headache do you have?
Well, sellers just be delusional. They be wanting a price. Like I've been speaking to 2 sellers actually, and they both are delusional for about a year now, and they still stuck on that same price. Both of them have major pain. For some reason, I can't. Yes, for some reason, I can't bring them back to reality. They just gonna have to figure it out themselves at this point.
Do you ask questions like, so what are you gonna do? You're just gonna let it burn? You're not gonna make any money. Just gonna ruin your credit. Just gonna ruin everything. All your chances are gonna go down the drain. What are you gonna do? Like those are some serious questions, bro. You start bringing up when people don't care. Look, when people like are in stages where if they're depressed and don't care, that's different than if they just don't care. Be a little upfront. So is that really not even a smart move? Is to Ampy? No, I mean, so what are you gonna do? Let the house burn? Yeah, I'm gonna let it burn. I mean, that's not even a smart move, but obviously it sounds like you don't care, huh? No, I don't really care. I mean, so like, even if I was able to buy this, even though you don't care about it, let me care about it. If I was able to buy it and then pay you some cash and then let me make some money on it, would that matter? Or you still don't care? Like you can dive into questions like that, right? And then at the end, just okay, long-term follow-up, whatever. But dive in deeper. When it's like that, like just dive in as deep as you can, bro, and then follow up. That's all it is. You might not be able to do something. There are some homeowners that get into foreclosure that are so depressed, even though they have like a lot of equity in their house where they can turn around and sell it, but they're so depressed because things that are going on that they let it burn. Bro, I've had people say, I'm letting it burn. No, I don't want to do anything. I've had somebody literally let a whole house go down that they spent like 500 something thousands trying to build the home for their mom, and their mom ended up passing away before the home was built, and they let the whole thing burn. And they didn't want to work with me. I don't even want to talk about. Don't call me again about that house. I don't want to associate it. My mom was supposed to be for my mom. I'd never look at it. I have money. I don't care for it. I'm gonna let that shit burn. I wrote it off. That was a conversation of a seller. I'm like, damn, I couldn't overcome that one. Don't ever call me again about that house. Don't want to think about it. It hurts my heart. And I was like, damn, this fool. He goes, I have money. Don't ever call me again like that for that again. I wrote this shit off. And that was that phone call. That was in Banning, California. Some gentleman like he like built like a 5,000 square foot home, like around like all the homes are like 1,200 square feet, like a baller home for his mother, badass like surrounding. And it was a new build, and then just stopped when he was like 90% and just let it sit. And then it's been there for like 3-4 years. Beautiful home, just inside now. It's getting, there's squatters and everything, and he don't care.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's a story right there.
Shit, it's crazy, bro. When you got money, man, it's different. When you have money, shit, money don't matter to you. The things around you that matter. When you're a kid, when money doesn't matter, the things around you matter. When you grow up, when you find out this is a monetary system, the majority of the time you now are attached to money matters. The reality is go and learn financial literacy, so then you can play with this world that's playing you. And then eventually you don't have to worry about money. So then you can go back to being human and worry about the things that really matter before money was implemented into your lifestyle. It happens, right? You got to think of the big picture like that. That's why I'm trying to be wealthy, not just because I want to be wealthy, but it's because it X's out what this life is that's controlling us is money. So you might as well learn money, because money controls you. You might as well learn how to control it. So then you can now X that out and not have to worry about anything money related. And now you can focus on real problems, real relationships, things like that.
Amen.
For sure. That's a great way of thinking. Oh my, yes.
Got you guys, bro.
Yo, Carlos, that was fire right there. Quick, and sorry, I just hopped on, but I am very into personal finance. So if anyone ever needs help, just feel free to reach out anytime. I've been really like budgeting and everything for half a decade and just really been focusing on that hard. So if anyone ever needs help, just let me know.
Sweet. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate that. Okay, let's see. Who am I calling right now? Here you go. You sent me another thing of people, right? Okay, here we go. Jim, what's cracking with Jim? Rigo, you there? No, probably not. Let me call this guy real quick. Jim Tice.
You got a question in the chat too about taking a property subject to.
Do you think that before picking up a house subject to, we should screen the seller a bit more, and of course go with the gut? Picking up property subject to, you know what, like typically the homeowner understands what's going on when you explain it, because you typically explain it very well for them to understand and say, yeah. And so they understand exactly what's going on, because we explain our name goes on deed, all these things. I don't think it really matters. Like even with this homeowner that gave me a headache, he's been a headache, but he understood what we said as like, hey, I'm going to leave my name on title and things and deed. So maybe I could have screened him better, but it wouldn't have mattered, because screening him, I already knew he was in foreclosure, right? So it's like, I already knew he was irresponsible with his money. So what was screening going to do for me right there, knowing that he was already irresponsible, couldn't afford it? Screening a tenant is better, because then they're the ones that are going to pay you, but you are just going to go and turn a lead into a deal for yourself. So I don't really need a screening as long as both parties understand what's going on. Now, there are going to be some times where they're going to understand what's going on and then still call a sale, like a due on sale clause. That's different. But the screening process, I don't typically screen my sellers. No, I do screen my wrap buyers and my tenants though, for sure. Make sure they're going to pay us, you know, but that answers that question, Harold.
Screen the property.
Gauge the property, yeah. Let me call Jim real quick.
Hey, Carlos, yeah, with Jim, yeah, it was just one of those that he has a number he wants to sell it for. So I'd give him a call and explain terms to him as well and see if he'd be interested in that.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him right now.
Cool.
Oh, that's funny. I must have clicked his number because he's calling me. Oh, Jim, let me call you back, Jim. Okay. You just hang up on me and call him back. Oh, this one's in Riverside. Hell yeah. I'm gonna pull a new list in Southern California.
Hello,
Hey, what's up, Jim? This is Carlos. How you doing, man?
Carlos who?
Yeah, you were speaking with Rigo about your property right there off of, what is it, Farnham Place?
I'm not talking to anybody about my place, not farming place. It's not for sale.
Oh, I got a text saying, hey, Jim wants to sell for 560.
You lie.
Yeah, I'm not lying to you. Let me call you back, Jim.
My name's Robert on there.
Hey, shoot Jim a call. Jim's probably walls up now. It said Rigo, your name's Robert on there. It's probably like, who the fuck is Rigo?
Yeah, I know.
Call, text him and just say that I called, you know, hey, you know what? My partner called you right now or whatever.
All right, for sure.
That's how easy it is. You see how perfect role play? Carlos who rolled into it real quick, still wall up, boom. That was my fault. I should have asked you if you use your name Rigo. Or is your first name Robert and you know, or is it Rigo?
No, it's Rigo. I just tell people when I'm cold calling or I'm doing SMS campaigns, they use a different name.
Dude, fuck that. Your name, you should be using your name Rigo. Use your name Rigo so then that doesn't happen again. I'm gonna forget.
Yeah, I use that like when I call them like to make an offer, explain terms or something,
Okay.
and I tell them, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'll call him back, I guess, tomorrow if he doesn't. Just text him, let him know that, hey, I called, you know, whatever. I said Rigo, I meant to say Robert or whatever. Like, hey, he got my name confused. Yeah, like that guy Carlos, yeah, just tell him.
Robert's a stage name.
All right, cool. All right, who's this one? This guy called just now. Christina, so you have to mention her. It's ready to do a deal. Okay, cool. You can call this one. Somebody gave me a lead with no fucking address. I love it. I'm gonna call it anyways. Would you be open to seller finance? Okay, here we go. Robert Spruce. All right, calling this guy real quick. 904 236.
Hello?
Hey, what's up, Robert? This is Carlos. How you doing?
Miserable.
Oh man. Hey, you were speaking with Christina, texting about selling your property right off of Running River Road. Just touching base, man. Are you still looking to sell it?
Well, I told the boss that anything's for sale for the right price. Here's what I look at. If we get what we feel is a reasonable price, then yes, we can sell it. If not, then we'll just go ahead and rent it out.
Got you. Yeah, you know what? And not to waste time, right? I'm an investor as well. It sounds like you know how to make money on your properties. Your property, just so I don't waste time, you know, it sounds like, you know, you would sell it for the right price. So me being a cash investor, I look for, you know, some type of like project when I buy cash. I don't think yours is going to need any work, is it?
It's going to be very, very little work.
Got you.
We've already put like new, we had to put a new roof on it because this house had been vacant for 10 years. and it was sold at a tax deed sale, so we bought it at that. And then when we got into the house, there was a lot of work that needed to be done inside the house, so we ended up replacing it with some sheetrock, replaced the whole new roof and the decking on the roof as well.
Okay.
So,
How long ago did you do all that?
we bought the house in October of last year. All the decking and everything was done in January of this year, the new roof.
Okay. Okay, cool. So just wrote that down. Yeah, so I think that me buying it as an investor cash, I would have to go low with, the market being unstable and rates high. So I think, like if you decided selling it like either to a homeowner, like on the market with an agent, or renting it out would probably be the best ways for you to get the highest number or to get some good cash flow. Knowing me, I wouldn't probably be able to give you the purchase price cash. Would you, only way I could do something like that, don't know if it works with us, but the only way I can give you like a higher purchase price that makes sense for someone like you and myself would be to buy it on terms. Would you sell me your property on terms, like on seller finance?
It depends on the amount down if you want to look at seller financing.
Yeah, so I found it easier.
Like I said, we do own the house free and clear. There's not the note on it. So, we can do an owner financing, except it depends on the amount that's going to be put down on the property. And then we got to take a look at the terms on the interest rates and things like that, and the length of the term.
Absolutely. So if this was a route you were willing to go, right? Because this is the only way that I can do it. So we could only move forward on this conversation if it's something that you're open to, because I know giving you cash, I would have to give you something that wouldn't make sense to you, but it would make sense to me. So if I went this route, let's go over like let's project it, right? And then we get into like, you need some money down. Is there a certain amount of money down that you need to go and, maybe invest in something else, or is there like a number that you necessarily need down, or is it more to get some money in your pocket?
Her and I kind of been looking at it.
How
and
are
then
you?
if we did a owner financing, we got to take a look at
It's
the
good
amount
to
of money
hear
that's
your
going to be
voice
put down.
too.
And what I mean by
Gosh,
that
how you
is
been?
the people that want, and I'm not saying this is you, but just anybody who wants.
He loves whenever you call him. He really does.
Skin in the game, because what happens if they default and they go to walk away, then I've got to go through the foreclosure process, and who knows what they may do to the property after all the money that we put into fixing it up. So, there's got to be a significant amount of money they have to put down in order for us to consider the financing. And also,
do they offer, is there a product like
not
a product, I shouldn't say, does the government pay that somewhere?
And show that they have the ability to make the payments and not willing to negotiate in regards to coming in lower than what the current interest rates are. And then got to take a look at the duration of the payments. How long are we going to look at? Are we going to look at a 10-year, 15, 20, 30-year, whatever? We got to take a look at those things, because all that plays into the amount of money that needs to be put down.
No, that makes sense too. And then that term part just depends on, how much interest you want to make on your money. I found it to be like fairly simple when talking in terms with other investors, because they're in the game to make money, especially on top of their money. And to answer that question, I actually, I've had a lot of sellers in the past, that same question, like it was hard for them to sell me their house on terms and maybe they didn't even need a lot of money. It was just, since it was seller finance, they had that same question. What if you default? And through time, we've created a document. We work with our legal team, and they've helped us out. We've drafted
that's not that difficult of a thing to do.
What that is
either
it's a document that protects the homeowner in a scenario, right? Like, let's say
everybody gets
I
a
buy this,
bedroom.
I put some money down at the
I don't know
close,
what kind
and
of
then I made payments on this thing, and maybe I did it for 12 months, and something happened to me. I get hit by a car, and I forget to make a payment. I can't perform on that payment. Well, instead of you having to, you then take that hit and then have to eventually go through that foreclosure process and have to go through that headache. This performance mortgage, what it states is, it says that
like a room,
in that worst case
what
scenario,
I mean is,
we
someone will
were to
buy a
fail on
5-bedroom
performing on the
house.
mortgage,
They could have
instead
5
of
men
going through that foreclosure process, the property gets deeded back into your name, and you just keep all the money we gave you down, any time and money we invested into the property, and then obviously we'd rent it out for the premium market rent, so it'd be cash flowing. And at that moment, after 12 months of making payments, if that happens, you just get it all back, and we end up losing out on it. And we came to an agreement with a homeowner and our our legal team to do it that way,
Mhm.
so then we can still move forward and not have to have that as a big issue. And so we have that as
Mhm.
well. And I can also send that to you in a blank document in an email, so you can just read it too. So you can see that
Okay.
it does protect you like that as
Mm,
well.
You know, a good person to call
so-
up north is are both our
I live
friend.
in Palm Springs.
Yeah,
Live where?
I live in Palm
he's
Springs, California, so
now,
not local.
Connected with the real estate market.
Yeah, but I own a,
But
Okay.
yeah, so I just bought a property in
okay.
Newport, Florida, closed on it last month, and I'm getting more into the central
Uh-huh.
and the northern coast of Florida. So I like to buy more. So I buy nationwide. I live in California,
Right.
but I rarely buy in California. It's a little crazy. So I buy most of my
I would
things.
buy California if I lived.
I just have short-term rentals out here, man. So I don't have anything crazy happen to my tenants,
I
you
see.
know? So I
You
don't
know,
have any long-term out here, but
there's
I have
lots
the
of
majority of my
things
properties
like,
in Georgia. And then
not
just
I'm
started
sure
getting
you
them in
know that
Florida
there's
too.
different housing
But
assistance
yeah, this is something I'm open to
operations, like,
speaking with you
you know,
with.
a
Do you need to
veteran
speak with a
sometimes could
spouse
get
before we can move forward and
assistance
try to
from
come up with some
some
terms
veteran
or
No,
agencies
we were
where
just talking
they
about it
where
tonight,
they get
in regards to,
just, let's say, for
we
instance,
got-
a regular
basically what we
house
need to do is finish
that's-
off on the garage. I mean, we need to sand it down. There's a couple areas on the ceiling that needs some new sheetrock, which we already have all that in place. So we just gotta, and then we want to paint the garage. So I mean, literally, what we have that needs to be done can be done over the weekend.
Oh, okay. So very little, doesn't even need much stuff. Okay.
No, I mean, we put in new granite countertops, backsplashes, the whole 9 yards. I mean, even our real estate agent said, "Hey, you guys went a little bit above and beyond." I said, "But here's the thing," and I told her, I said, "Look, I'd rather do somebody right. So when it comes time that when we reap the benefits of it, I mean, I'm not going to try to screw somebody over and go that route. I'd rather be doing it right and maybe spend a little bit more. I may not make quite as much, but the people who buy it will be happy, and they'll refer more people to see me about buying properties as well."
Absolutely, man. You do good work, and that's what I do as well. Sounds like you're a fair person, and I'm a fair person as well. And I like that, man. So let's talk a little bit more about it, right? So,
Okay.
you know, we have that performance mortgage. So then we have that understanding, and I can email you all this stuff so you can take a look at it. To go back now over the like purchase price, right? Like, what's the number that makes sense for you? So that I could.
I'm going to tell you exactly what we did with the real estate agent. The real estate agent that we have,
Mhm.
she sold our personal house.
Okay.
Okay. So, and we walked away with a nice amount, and that's what we used as our capital investment into buying the properties at tax details, because you got to pay cash for everything. And I'm also a disabled veteran, so I live on. We went rented currently on the naval station out here in Jacksonville, Florida. So we live in base housing right now, and then we're going to look for a house that we can get at either a foreclosure or a tax detail or whatever over the years coming. So then we'll buy us a new house for ourselves and any other properties that we want to look at. So the real estate agent, she went in and did an assessment. She did an evaluation of what houses have sold over the past 6 months, and she said that, the asking price that we should be asking for the house is $425.
Okay.
Now, if we used her, we would walk away with somewhere around $390,000.
Okay. And I'm actually taking a
We
look
had to
at.
take a look at closing costs and her fees, and she's giving us reduced fees because she sold our house and she's got some land that we have up for sale as well. So, and we bought more properties than just this one here. We bought other properties through tax details, and some of those were land as well.
Okay. And you know what, that actually seems to be like a fair number, because I am looking at what properties recently sold for, and the most recent ones I can see in and around the area sold just a little bit at the end of October. And I see one that sold for $410 off of Boston Harbor Drive, and then one off of Rainbird that sold for $445. And I can imagine, you know, it coming down just a little bit because of the market correction. And so let's say I was able to justify that $425, right? So that, I'm not going to hassle with you. I've been able to do it multiple times where I pay market. So let's say I'm able to justify $425. Way I make money is just in the rental income. So whatever I have to pay you, this needs to be less than and allow me to make money every single month on it. Let's get into the money down though. money down,
Okay.
is there like a certain number you need? Or is it like, hey, I'm cool with, 5, 10, 15, 20 grand to do this or that?
In order for us to participate in the other
Mhm.
upcoming tax details, which will start in January, in the state of Florida, we were looking at to be able to get somewhere between around that 20% mark.
Okay, so you need like 80.
So I'm looking at somewhere between 80 and 100 grand.
Yeah, so that's hard, and reason why is since I'm buying at market price, and we're shifting down, and market rates, everything's going to be a little high. It's tough for me to buy that, because I got to look at my cash flow. If I'm dropping 80 plus closing costs and things like that, I'm looking at, well, how much money am I going to be able to make every month, and is it going to make sense on my money? That's it. That's all it is.
Well, I can tell you, I did have the place rented for $2,400 a month.
Okay. So in a scenario, right? Like in a scenario, I may not be able to give you the 80 grand, but let's just see if we could even cash flow, because we'll go from here. If it could rent it out for 24, what makes sense as a monthly payment to you? And we could, we could look at it on like a 30-year AM or whatnot, but what do you think would make sense out of that 24? What can I make in there?
It all depends on the amount down.
So like if I was able to give you more money, you would give me a better monthly payment, like allowing me to make a good amount of money every month on it. Because a high amount of money down is gonna hurt the way that I make money cash flow. So if it was like you need a large amount of money, you're gonna let me make the majority of the money on the cash flow?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And is 80 necessary? Is there something a little bit lower, maybe half that, like 10%? Because I don't even know if I could do the 10, but I have to then run it on my calculator and just run numbers.
I don't think we would probably do it for anything under 50.
50. Okay. And this may not work, right? I'm gonna underwrite it. This may take a call or two, but $50,000 down, and let's talk about, like a payment and some interest, right? Because I know that that's what we're gonna be going over.
Right.
$50,000 down. And what are you open to financing as far as a term? How long are you open to financing it to me? I'm typically not doing anything short term right now because of the market.
Okay.
Yeah. So I need some time on it.
Okay. I was looking at somewhere probably around 6%, which I think is fair, because depending on the person's ability to finance, could be anywhere from 7.25% to 8.5% or even higher. And coming month, at the end of this week, when the Feds meet again, they're probably going to raise the rates again another 0.5% to 0.75%.
That's right. What if we did, because I know market, like you said, they're going up. What if we did 4% on it?
I'd have to take a look at what if we did that, what we would get out of it.
Yeah, because here's why, right? Like, and I just want to be. I'm right here on my computer real quick. I'm bringing it just so I can.
I'm at Lowe's right now. So.
Oh, no worries. I'm on the computer. I'm doing a little bit of work, so we're good. I'm putting in. If I gave $50,000 down, I'd be financing 370. Let's say we did a 30-year at 4%. That payment's like close to $1,800. But what happens is every year you're getting close to 14.5 the first 3 years, or over 14 grand. So you're almost making 15 G's a year the first 3 years, and then you drop down a little bit under 14. So imagine you go in 10 years, you're making like 100 plus grand on top, right? That's at 4%, right? And I just need to make money. So I think giving you market price, and then allowing you to, you're gonna make way more money doing it that way, anyways. You'll make way more.
I think that we'd probably be okay with that then.
Okay. So let's say
I would like to be able to get that document that you're talking about in regards to if there was a default. So
I got you. What's your email, just so I can send that over afterwards?
My first initial R, my last name Sprouse, Sprous, as in Sierra, E as in Echo. 98 at AOL.com.
At AOL, huh?
Yeah, I used to work for AOL for 8 years.
Oh wow.
I was a director of call center operations for them.
Oh, right on, man. I haven't heard of them in a while.
And I launched call centers for them in South Africa and in the Philippines and Mexico.
Oh, man. There you go. There you go. You did some work with
And I
it.
was an expat for them in South Africa. So
There you
we
go.
Lived over there for 2.5 years.
You did a lot of work, man. You've been around having some fun with it.
Yeah, I have.
That's what's up. That's cool. I've done a lot of positions too. I come from the car industry and all types of sales. I've done door to door for alarm systems, multi-level marketing. So I've been in and around business and sales my entire life as well.
Okay, good.
So 420, $420,000 purchase price. You need like 50 grand. You can do like 4% or something like that.
Yeah.
Now, the thing with the 4% on a 30-year AM, the payment's like 1,800, only allowing me to make like 600. Would you be willing if we push the AM out a little bit just so I can cash flow correctly? Like, let's say I did, okay, if I do a 40-year AM, it only brings it down like $100, which means you make more money anyways. But I'm trying to see what's the best way that allows me to cash flow so I can make sure if I put 50 grand down that I'm making at least some change on me.
Now, here's the other piece too. I'm not going to have a prepayment penalty or anything like that because, like you said, you want to make money too. So if something were to come up and you found somebody who was willing to pay you more for it or whatever, and then we cashed out on both sides, you and I, then I'm fine with that as well. So I'm not going to have.
Oh, that's awesome.
Prepayment penalty.
Thank you. Yeah, because that's sometimes I do say, hey, I'll go 10 years and then, 3 years down the road, I end up deciding, hey, I'm going to sell this on a wrap, or you know what, I have another investor that wants to park their cash here. They like my house and they want to buy it. Since I do work with lots of investors, that happens. I try to make the most of my money on the cash flow, but there are times where it's like, hey, I could sell it sooner. And I like to not have that prepayment penalty. So thank you.
Yeah.
So I was thinking,
I told you, I like to work with the people, so we both benefit. So
yeah,
it's called karma. What comes around goes around.
So like I'm like plugging in the numbers and seeing, okay, where can I at least make like $1,000 on this thing? If I'm gonna put 50 grand down, or can I make 1,000 plus? Like I'm running the numbers on terms, and like for me to get close to like $1,400, it's like at a 55-year AM just to get down to that, which really doesn't even matter because whatever the term, let's say you say, Carlos, I'm cool 10 years. All I got to do is just make this payment so then I can cash flow. You're still getting that purchase price anyways, and the money down, like interest. Would something like that work if I was able to get it down to like $1,400? Like it basically comes out to like a 55-year AM is what happens.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to take a look at that document you were talking about. So that
Absolutely.
way I can take a look in regards to having any type of minimize our exposure to a default or something like that. So our cost involved in something like that.
Okay. That's what I do. Cause basically we kind of just, we kind of put the numbers together right now. Purchase price of 420 with $50,000 down, 4% at a 55-year AM is like 1387 with 65 cents. So that's kind of that. What I can do now is I could just send you over like that document. It's called a performance mortgage, and it goes over like in the if we default, here you go, kind of thing.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Sounds fair.
Yeah. Is there any questions or any other concerns that I may be able to address for you?
Not that I can think of right now. No. The number that you're calling me from that's on my display, is that your cell
phone?
Or...
Yeah, it's my cell, the 760 number. That's my cell phone number.
Okay, because you're on my cell as well.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. And I do have two phones. This one you're calling me on to my personal cell.
Oh, even better. Nice. Okay, well, Robert, I'll go ahead and send that over to you. And thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Okay, you too. And I'm sorry again, your name again?
Carlos.
Carlos?
That's right.
Okay, I shouldn't forget that because our nephew's went into the Marine Corps and his name's Carlos. So.
Oh, there you go.
I'll be able to remember that pretty easy.
Yeah, thank you for the service. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks a lot.
Goodbye.
You take care.
You too. Good night. Bye. Yo.
Nice.
I was live, baby. I recorded it for y'all. Was cracking. Anyways, you see how creative financing, you see how I don't fight, it's problem solving. I just solved this guy's problem. He was open. He said 6%. All I said was 4. Did you guys hear me stay quiet? I was getting ready to even bump the price. I was ready. I was prepared already. I had everything structured. I was writing things down. I was Okay, cool. Payments, yada, yada. He's open to letting me make more money. All right, I'm going to structure it now. Give him his number, give him a little bit of his interest, but now I'm going to push for what I can do. This deal is not going to fit my personal buy box. The house looks nice, pool and everything, probably make good money on it. It's the amount of money down for me. For me specifically, because I use lenders. If I buy this property at market price and then pay 50 grand, usually I could do that when I use a lender and I buy a home that has equity, so then I can pull it from the equity or somehow, some way. Right here, I can't. So I know this would be a good wholesale deal, for at least me, because the house and who's Robert? Okay, that was Christina's deal. Okay, so that one would be easier for maybe an end buyer that does have 50 grand down, because that is $1,000 a month. So that's $12,000 that they're making on 50 grand. So 10% of $50,000 where people want to buy and holders. Most people want to be 10, 12+% on their cash on cash. Meaning if I give you if I put in $50,000 down, my minimum 10% that I want to make annually is 5 grand coming back in every year. Right. Well, if he's letting me make $1,000 a month, a little more, like it's like $1,010 every month for 12 months, that's like $12,200. Right. So 10% was 5 grand. So 20% is 10 grand, but I'm like at 12 or 13 grand. So now this is a like 22, 25% cash on cash return on this property. Now that is actually nice to somebody and it can make sense. And the purchase price is a good price. It's 420, picks up that asset. Somebody who buys this property, check this out. Somebody who buys this property, where's my calculator out? Somebody buys this at $420,000, gets to write off 420,000 divided by 27.5. So they get to write off $15,300 every year on top of making like 12,000 something. So it's almost like making 26 grand on this property a year. You get what I'm saying? I'm not at that level as an investor where I can just park money and have that. Though I like the cash flow, I'm not gonna lie. I might even bring in a lender in here and partner for equity and get myself in there. You know what I'm saying? But any questions? What do you guys think about that conversation? You let me know. Feedback, anything.
Fire. That was a dope conversation. I learned a lot.
Yeah, it was nice and smooth, great rapport. Good job.
Absolutely.
You went from crappy to happy.
He was miserable.
He was miserable. He said it on the introduction. Miserable, man.
Sure did.
Hey, Carlos, that 13,000 that you mentioned to him in a year, that's with the principal and interest?
The 1,300 a month?
No, the 13,000 that you said he would be making a year.
13,000 a year was just his interest, like, because he was charging me 4% on his money. So if you guys are on like it's like on a calculator right now, and you guys are trying to am it down and stuff. 170,000 is the loan amount, because I'm giving them 50 grand from 420. So it brings it down to a finance amount of 370. And then the interest rate was 4%. But when I put 30-year on it, it came out to like almost $1,800. And so, but when you scroll down, when you scroll or whatever, and you can look at your monthly schedule or your annual schedule, when you look down your annual schedule and you look over year one, it's going to tell you the interest and then the principal payment. In the first year, if I were to pay 4% on this, I would be paying $14,000, $14,700 just interest, and then like 65 that goes to the actual principal. So in 1 year, I pay him $2,100, but only 6,500 goes to the actual principal. So you can imagine in 10 years, he's making 120 racks on top of me in just 10 years, on top of the purchase price. It's a great deal for him.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and the cool thing is he's allowing me to make 12 grand too, like a year annually or whatever end buyer. That's how you structure a deal and you sweeten it. You don't get scared and 30 years and fuck, I'm only at 800. Nah, you saw me go in there and boom, I can do this, I can do that. Pause, stay quiet. I can do this, I can do that. Went in, went out. It works. I teach you guys that right here. Let's go.
What was also awesome.
Go, what were you saying?
Oh no, I was saying what was also awesome is the fact that he let it go out 30 years. 40 years.
He knew what's up. He said, depends on the money down. And then you see how I tried to overcome the money.
Exactly.
He needs the money, I guess, for purposes. Maybe I'm still gonna come at him with less than 50 grand. We just got a price reduction today. We just locked up a deal. Mike and I, one of the acquisitions members, locked up a deal, paperclip lead actually from Liam Benson from that same day that we had him here. Lock it up. We bought it. He wanted 260. They wanted like 60 grand down. I locked it up at 220 with $37,000 down. And that's basically buying it sub 2, give him $37,000 down. We ran the numbers on the rental market, came back to only making like 200, 300 bucks a month cash flow. And then I had Mike go back in and renegotiate the money down. And we just renegotiated from 37 down to 18 grand on a home in California, which is fire.
Nice.
Yeah, which is going to be a fire deal now because at 18 grand, anybody can sell it on a wrap right away. Boom, and then make money on it. Or just rent it out. But that's that I'm drafting an agreement with today as well, or redrafting it for that one for California, and then I'm drafting one for Texas today. And then, we're working on this Robert guy, so we're gonna have to do a follow up. So most likely sometime this week we'll follow up on a live call and try to go for the close. But once you become the closer, it's that simple. Like all I had to do was text 2 of my people that I work with. Hey, do you have any leads? And I have a whole bunch of leads. Just like I said, for some reason I got logged out of one of the CRMs I was in that had most of my leads. But all I got to do is just call and text people and like, hey, do you have any leads for me? Oh my God, we're ready for you. Here we go. These are 3 of returns. And those are the first ones that I called, didn't answer. So I came back and I called Robert because I forgot Robert. I put his name and number down, but I skipped him on accident. Called him back and he answered. But the moral of the story is because I know how to close, people are willing to throw me their leads on terms because they know that I'm going to take it the distance over where they can take it. And I like that shit because it's just like popcorn closed, Carlos, like popcorn read. Here, we just want you to fucking read it. We want you to do it. You want you to do it. I love it because all I got to do is send a text because anybody needs a deal closed and it's going to feed both them and me. That's what's cool about being a closer. And that's what we train here, guys. And that's why we do these live calls. So you guys can hear things like this. These calls are supposed to be for the light bulbs in your head to turn on. Wow, I didn't know that I can say things like that. I didn't know I could be bold like that. Didn't know I can stand firm like that. Didn't know I can, whatever it was. If you should be turning on for you guys, use the power. Say some of the things that I've said today. Go in there, fight for what's yours. I never once was aggressive with the guy, but I still had a full negotiation because we were fair men. He wanted to be fair. I wanted to be fair. And that's what we did.
Yeah. Yep. Amen. Amen.
Amen. There you go, guys.
So if this was a deal where you were putting $10,000 down and he would have accepted it, it would have been a slam dunk.
Oh, dude, yeah, a slam dunk. If he only took 10 grand down, he was allowing me to make 1,000. Dude, this would be like 120% cash on cash. Or I would literally buy this shit. That's how gangster it would be. It feels like, yo, even at 20 grand down, I would buy it. Even at 30, honestly, I would be like, I'll get a fucking lender in there and do it because you're gonna make 12 grand a year on that thing. 12, and we could probably even sweeten it. Who knows? We haven't even finalized it. I didn't go too hardcore because we haven't gotten to that. Yes, we're ready to rock. It was just the introduction phase. You'll learn the basics as we go. But this next round, I'm gonna actually sweeten the deal. I'm gonna show you how to. Once you understand somebody's open to working with your business model, cool. On the follow-up, it's time to sweeten the deal. I'll show you guys how to sweeten it. And you'll see on the next live call with this guy. We're going to go in, probably not going to give him 50. We'll probably go down 35 or 40 and budge from there and see where we're going to have to go. And the same thing, we're going to go with, give him his interest. I was prepared to bump up the price and then use hey, it's better to go with the price over the interest. And the reason why is because if I decided I wanted to sell it in 3 years, over 10 years, well, if I just kept it at that interest rate, you would have missed out on 7 more years that you were planning. When if I would have just gave you a higher purchase price, you'd keep that higher number no matter if I stayed for 1 month or 10 years. You get me? So I'm prepared, already ready to go. But we didn't go that distance. I was waiting for him to say, nah, 4%. Nah, because that's like my max. I understand if I went and give him 2, it was going to be a battle. I'm not here to just The cool thing about creative finance, you don't have to be that bold person and be like, I got the best discount. Because I've been that guy. I've done it on wholesaling. I've even done it on creative. You could be the person to proudly say, I paid the highest. I paid the most fucking interest. But the motherfucker was letting me make $1,000 a month on it though. You get me? So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Cynthia, what's cracking? I see a hand up.
I was curious, what is it, capital gains? What's the amount that triggers that? Would the 50,000 trigger that? Is that something you could
So he'd
use
be paying,
as-
he'd be paying, so like, when you sell your house, depending if it's, your primary residence in certain states, you have I believe you have some type of incentive where you can write off up to 250,000 per spouse on the home. So like if you bought a house for 200 grand and you sold it for 500, you're eligible not to pay taxes on it. But in the scenario where it's not that state, and I'm not a CPA or anything, I just heard something like that. But in the other states, or in a scenario where this wasn't his primary residence, typically, you buy it for 100 grand and you sell it for 500 grand, you're going to pay gains on the difference from 100 to 500. That 400,000 you pay gains on, depending on how.
So no matter what they're gonna pay, there's not like a threshold, basically, in certain states.
It depends on if they already had an exit, right? Like, hey, I'm going to do a 1031 exchange
Right,
where they're
right,
planning
right.
to invest in it. But yeah, most times they're not, and yeah, they're going to pay a hefty gain, especially if you're making 400 or 500 grand on a home. You're going to be paying a hefty gain.
Okay.
Cool.
And then also, do you have anywhere written, what are how you pay, if you close a deal for someone, how you guys split the assignment fee or how that's done?
Just like a JV agreement?
Yeah.
No, there's
Oh,
JV
yeah.
contracts out there.
Huh?
There's JV contracts out there.
No, I'm not asking for a contract. I guess I'm asking, like, if I had a deal that was like simmering and I wanted Carlos to close it, how does the fees work in terms of like commission from me /
Got you. So it's cool. And I get this question asked all the time, right? I'm up for it. I'm upfront with it, pretty forward. So typically I've heard from other people as well, like Pace or Brent Daniels, if somebody brings you a deal and that's not locked up, that's your decision. Most people say if you don't have a relationship with them that well, give them a fee, like a nice marketing fee, but obviously they didn't earn a whole, like an assignment fee, as they didn't do the job. But if what I like is most of you are willing to talk to me and work with me repetitively, so there's some type of future relationship that we're going to be building. So in return, I split deals with people I have a good relationship evenly, even though I may be doing the majority of the work, because this is what I do know, that you might be bringing me another deal and another deal, and so because I'm closing them, so you are getting paid at the same time you're learning. So I understand that since I provide that value, that most people would rather not try to turn around and burn me on one deal, or and they'd rather bring me more, and I'd rather do that. Like the guy that I just bought the house in Texas, a wholesaler, didn't close the deal for me. I paid him a nice marketing fee. We just closed on that property, and literally like 30 minutes after we closed, this was last week, he calls me on another similar property that they just bought. It was a new build. And now we're about to go in escrow on this property. And he still didn't close it, but I'm still paying him a nice fee because that's back to back that he brought me a deal that was prepared for me to go into battle just like this. I went and did my thing, and I told him, hey man, you keep bringing them and I'm still going to pay you. And bro, like if you want, come in, I'll teach you. And you start locking them up, I'll pay you more. But here's another thing. Even if you don't lock them up and you find me a deal and it's already sweetened where there's a lot of equity, I'll pay you a whole assignment fee, bro, because I know that you're now seeing me as your main end buyer, aren't you? He goes, yeah, you are. Like, you're like my main end buyer. I said, perfect. That's what I want. I even got one agent like that now. Then I'm working on a second deal that I just bought with them in Florida. And I even helped some guy in Colombia, a wholesaler like this. A Colombian guy fucking did agent outreach and then brought me a deal, and I closed it and paid both the agent and the wholesaler. The wholesaler did ask for a wholesale fee, and I laughed. I said, bro, I'm the one to close this. I'll pay you an assignment fee, bro. But he's cool because I'm still trying to work with them. So me, I personally would split, but I would split. Other people are different. Other people are tight. I'll give you a marketing fee or whatnot. In scenarios where you lock up a deal and you need to go to somebody and you say, hey, Carlos, dispo this deal, a fair price would be, depending on your relationship, if you do multiple deals with them, maybe you can bring it down to a flat fee, 5 grand per, 10 grand per, depending on the spread. Or most people I know do like a 25 to 35% out of the deal as a dispo. Like, okay, cool. You locked it up. You did the majority of all the hard work. I'll dispo it for 25 to 35%. I've seen that to be pretty common.
Okay.
I just got a text right now. It says, Carlos, are you dispoing deals? Can you help me dispo? Well, all right, we'll see like that. Like right now, I closed the deal on a lender. So somebody else reached out to me and said, hey, do you have a lender? I need a lender. And I said, sure, I could broker the deal. And we charged them like $3,500. So I'm even gonna make my first fee on just giving one of my lenders. Now I went and looked at the deal, analyzed the deal, and then I even told the borrower, like, hey, you're gonna protect my lender this way. You're gonna record them on title, this and that, make sure that they're not gonna get asked out. But even then, there's ways to make money everywhere. I'm trying to get it every single way possible, not just closing deals right here. Once you're a closer, it's not just on the deal, it's in everything. I'm closing everything. Like, okay, cool, you need a lender. I got a whole bunch of lenders because I got deals lined up. But if you don't have a lender, I'll broker your deal, meaning I'll charge you like $2,500, $3,500 just to bring you a lender because you can't bring you don't have one, right? No, I'll broker it. I've brokered French bulldogs that I don't even see. I've brokered everything, all types of illegal stuff. You can broker so much shit. That's what brokers do. You have to understand, a real estate agent or a broker, that's what they do. They sell other products that aren't theirs to other people that aren't them. That's why you need a license. That's why you don't need a license to go and sell your house on Craigslist or your car on Craigslist. But that's why I needed a license to sell cars, because I worked for a dealership that was a third party that sold somebody else's cars, like Cadillac or Ford's cars, to somebody else that wasn't me either. So I needed a license for that because I was a broker. I was brokering the deals. That's what everybody is, unless you're doing principal to principal. What I was just doing with this gentleman on the phone is principal to principal right there. And so in these returns, we get to name our own broker fees since there's nobody else that's brokering things. Nobody knows that. You guys are learning so much crap right here. Oh my God, get excited. There's so much to learn besides closing deals.
So the deals you're doing tonight, like when we do the live calls, Carlos, are those yours through a VA or is it through the?
No, I just hit up somebody like right now. Basically, I just text a girl named Christina. So imagine it was like I texted you, Cynthia. Hey, Cynthia, just checking in. Do you and team have any calls ready for me? Because they already know.
Okay.
So a lot of teams already have me on standby when I'm available. And that's actually it's funny because I have like 4 or 5 people when I'm like, hey, I don't have any leads. I got to call in like 10 minutes. I forgot to pull all the leads. It's going to take me like 30 minutes. Can you just send me like 5 or 10 leads that you have? Of course, Carlos, I got you. And that's why I was telling you guys, it's good to become the closer, because when you do become people are ready for you to call them and text them. Do you have any leads? Like these 4 or 5 leads are like nothing compared to like, if I were to show you the amount of leads that come into my text message. That's why I'm trying to automate things, because once I can get on the phone for 6 hours a day, I'm going to be unstoppable. Like if you had Pace Morby was on the phone for 6 hours a day, this motherfucker would be doing like 3 to 5 deals every day. And so would I, because what happens is people already bring us these warmer vetted leads. They already bring it to us. So it's like, all we got to do is just do what we do. We're not having to vet anything to qualify. It's qualified, ready for something like this. That's why I love doing what I'm doing, because it's like they bring it to me when it's just needed to be done the way that I do things. That's why I love it. Love it.
Well, thank you. Just as a resource, have you looked in, you said you wanted more automation. I think I heard you say, did you see that bot software or bot appware that might assist you? Have you looked into that?
No, I haven't. I don't even know what that is.
I'll send you a link.
Okay.
Cynthia, are you talking about sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. My bad.
No, you're fine.
Okay, no, is that the one that you were talking about that Pace introduced?
What's it called?
It's a company that they're bot makers. Pace had a Zoom meeting, I want to say like 2 weeks ago, where he introduced a gentleman that was
Matt?
That's
the gentleman named Matt?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to.
Okay, yeah. Carlos Pace had him actually introduced him a couple of weeks ago on a Zoom. So
what was his name?
His name is
Matt. Now you're challenging me.
No, don't even worry about it. I haven't been in a while. It's been a while since I've been in there. I need to go in there.
I'm gonna pull it up right now. It's because I have an email. I have an email that they sent me too. Matter of fact, you know what? If Cynthia, you know, you go ahead and send them the link and stuff though, but I'll pull it up on my email and I'll forward it to you, Carlos.
Cool. No problem. I just text that lady. I was like, hey, I gave her the terms. I'm like, she's like, the only thing she's seen, because I gave her the terms to this guy, Robert. She put 55 years. Jesus, you're a beast. 30 years to doubling it up, basically. I should have went. Let me just do this for 70 years, so it makes sense. So I get $1,000 payment. Oh man, I love what I'm doing. I'm just getting started, guys. You have to understand, I'm a puppy to this game. I'm a toddler.
And then there's the
like,
counter.
I've been here for so long. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are seeing me at the minimalistic level that I can bring to you guys. And if this minimalistic level is like blowing your mind, you guys are in store. You guys are in store for something great that's coming. Because I'm just getting started. Like I said, I haven't even tapped into it to really understanding all the stories yet. In the car business, I was in there for so many years. I've heard every damn story. I know how to overcome everything. Right here, I still get stuck like, okay, I had to actually figure out how to overcome this on the spot because I still haven't asked every question out there or heard every story in real estate just yet. So give me a year and you're going to be looking at a different animal than what you're seeing today.
Looking forward to
it. Hey guys, appreciate it. I got a couple things I got to finish up for the night. I got to do one more workout to finish up my 75 hard for the day. Any questions, guys? This is recorded. I'm going to be posting it up maybe tomorrow or something, but I recorded it. Got that live call, a couple live calls. I'm right there for you. So we'll post it up. You guys can see that, get some good strength on it.
I have a question, Carlos.
Yes, sir.
So far, like from all your calls, I've been seeing that you just get straight to it. I mean, I know that you don't even try to dig into like pain or anything. You just go straight to it with the price. So yeah, this guy told me that you're looking for 564. You just kind of start negotiating. That's what you do when the lead is warm, correct?
Exactly. That's what you do when your lead's already hot. Like, let's say Ambi, you'll get to a point down the road where somebody's going to call you and they're going to give you a lead that isn't yours. And they're going to say, hey, yeah, I went over cash. This is where we were, 360, 340, 330, 332. And this is where we ended up. I told them I couldn't buy it. I needed to be at 260. They didn't want to list it. They didn't want to sell it. They didn't want to do this and that. They're open to terms, but only for this number. So it's like, I don't got to do shit and go requalify it. That might just upset the guy. He might just say, didn't your buddy just ask me all these questions? So that's why I say, hey, my buddies, that's why I'm so upfront. My buddy said you were looking for 360, right? That's why I say things like that. So I'm just making sure he understands where we are. So we move forward because I'm going to now take over where my friend left off. So the reason why is because it's where it was left off at. Now, if let's say you brought me a lead, first off, the lead wouldn't be warm or hot if you didn't have any damn notes on it. So if you just brought me a lead and I had to go through it, then yes, you would qualify the whole thing. It was a qualified lead that came to me then. And the reason why I have this structure in place like that is because most people are calling their own leads, you know, that's why. So that structure is for people who start off like on the cold calls themselves. If not, you like, you know, you got to work with what your notes have already. He's open to this or that. Cool. You don't got to re-ask some of the questions if the notes are already written out for you. You can repeat them to make sure that both parties know what's going on. Hey, they said you're open to terms and all you needed didn't matter on the price. You just needed 20 grand down. Does that sound about right? Yeah, cool. And then we roll into more fact finding and digging around how this is going to work.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I saw how you asked him also, why do you need this money? Why do you need the 50 grand, the 80 grand, the 100 grand? Are you going to put into another rental? Are you going to do something else with it? And I saw how you trying to get his like kind of motivation so you could just use it against him. So I was like, oh, that's so smart. I was like, I saw the little trick you was trying to do right there.
You have to kind of achieve a goal too. And if it was because he was just nervous, he wanted to see the skin in the game, that's all, then he doesn't need a lot of money down. That's not a necessity. He just feels nervous. Once I send him over this purchase sale agreement, I'm also going to send him over some credibility email on some of the deals I've done. I'm probably going to send him a YouTube video on Pace Morby, a credibility email on Pace Morby. So then he can do his due diligence and look up my LLC, the deals that I own. You can see Brent Daniels and Pace Morby, because we have emails that we can use that basically say we're partners, and he can vet him. So then he can be like, damn, these guys are legit. Okay, I don't need the 50 grand, because I'll say, hey, I can't do 50. My partner and I, we came up with, we can only do 35 or 30 grand. Watch us still close it. He just got to feel comfortable. I transferred certainty the entire time. I never sounded like I was new because I knew what I was doing, but I transferred over that I was gonna follow through. What I'm telling him is correct. And I still said, I may not be able to give you 50 grand down. I may not be able to do this, but let's project this. If I was able to, would we be able to do this or that? Now that allows me to go through the conversation instead of stopping and then bringing it to me and saying, Ambi, fight a little more in there. You now saw me fight a little more in there, then go and continue and continue and continue, because your goal is, if you can't overcome something, you shouldn't hang up the phone call. You should then now put that question to the side and get the rest of the questions out of the way. So then when you bring it up to somebody like myself, it's already almost done. It's going to help you out, and it's going to help your closers out, or anybody working your deal. You just get to the game plan and get almost everything. And if you're stuck, it's okay. Put it to the side. Hey, I just don't know that. Let me ask my partner. Anyways, what about this? And what about this one? And then what about that? Start rolling and get everything else out. And you'll learn the power of that part. Boom.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Hey, Carlos, real quick, if I could just piggyback real quick on what you said. One thing I learned a long time ago about sales also is what you did on that call also is you separated his needs from his wants. You know, you found out what he needs versus, well, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? And then he just worked off of his needs.
Yeah, it's fact finding. It's I mean, I did it all day in the car business. That's why it sounds easy to me. It's because I've done this shit 100 times over in the car business. It's fact finding. It's really problem solving. Most people want payment. This guy, most people want to buy things on payments, meaning if you're buying your house or your car, you're looking basically for a payment. Well, homeowners are looking for a number most of the time. They're looking for that number. And then if you can find it and dig deep and find everything else out, they might not even need money down. This guy may not even actually need any money down at all, but he just wants skin in the game. That's the truth.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, much love. It's recorded. I'll get back to you guys
brother.
Monday through Friday. Did everybody get the new Zoom links for everything? I posted them in the side chat. I'm gonna repost them real quick before I jump off.
Oh, no, I didn't see them in the side chat. I just, you talking about all the new ones? You posted that? I didn't see it in there. Maybe you did.
I
Wait.
just posted it right here. Hold on, I'll post it up real quick.
Okay.
There it goes.
And call me or text me. I don't know if when you're gonna do it, are you gonna do a LOI or like a full purchase contract for that lady or what? Let me know.
Oh, you want to see how I type it up?
Or just call me. Yeah, text me or whatever. Let me know. So I know.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go for a jog first, and then I'll come back and I'll have to draft up like two.
No rush.
Contracts. Yeah, no rush. But I'll let you know, or if not, I'll record it for you because my lady is also doing transactional coordination for us now. So now I get to keep more money in house, right? I get to pay my lady to do the transactional coordination. But yeah, so we have like two contracts we need to type up tonight. Let's keep them coming. This is, we're finishing off November. Let's get in December. We got to close deals, guys. This is very easy. It's very simple. Let's just do lead gen and turn it around to lead follow up, and let's get to closing. I'm not the only closer here. There's a lot of us out here. Let's close each other's deals and make money, guys. Much love. I'll see you Monday through Thursday right here in the live calls. If you guys need me to close your leads, let's do it. I closed somebody else's lead that just wasn't on the Zoom today. They're going to get paid on that if we end up closing on it. So these could be your leads too, and we could be closing deals together, making money, and you don't really got to do anything much. So much love, guys. Zoom links are on the side. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay.
All right, man. Carlos. Good night, y'all.
Give me a call sometime this week.
Okay. Gotcha, brother. All right. Okay. Bye.
Bye.